We went 2-1 yesterday for plus 0.93 units, which is basically a spa day for the bankroll. Chicago -3 face planted in a 19-16 walk-off. Pittsburgh plus 3.5 cashed in the world's most violent game of please kick it again. And Lakers -5.5 got there by half a point because Vegas loves us, but only in a drink plenty of water after this kind of way. Now for today, we're laying Montana State -10.5. We're taking Philadelphia -11.5 against a Nuggets roster that looks like it was assembled via group chat, and we're grabbing Golden State on the money line at plus 100 in LA. Let's start in Nashville with the FCS title, Illinois State versus Montana State, and we're on the Bobcats -10.5. Illinois State has been a total movie script team, but the problem with movie scripts is they don't include the part where your legs feel like they're filled with wet sand in the fourth quarter. The Redbirds have played 4 straight road playoff games across multiple time zones. That's not a postseason run, that's a frequent flyer challenge with shoulder pads. Montana State is the opposite. They're a machine. The numbers scream trench advantage. Montana State is a top-tier rushing offense at about 234.5 yards per game, and Illinois State is allowing about 132.5 rushing yards per game. That's a structural mismatch. If Montana State is living at 4 to 6 yards a pop on first down, the playbook stays open, the clock gets strangled, and the underdog's defense slowly realizes it's trapped in a cardio class it didn't sign up for. And the Bobcats aren't just run, pray. Quarterback Justin Lamson is the cheat code for spread covers because he's both efficient and annoying for defenses. He's completing roughly 72% of his passes, and he's sitting on a 24 touchdown to 3 interception profile. That's not gunslinger, that's CPA with cleats. Then in the red zone, he turns into the goal line running back with double-digit rushing touchdowns. So even if Illinois State sells out to stop the backs, Lamson keeps the chains moving and finishes drives. The other quiet killer here is turnover math. Montana State has been living in the plus column on turnovers, and that's exactly how big favorites turn a competitive game into a why is the spread already covered situation. 1 short field touchdown, 1 panicked interception when Illinois State has to chase, and suddenly -10.5 looks a lot smaller than it sounds. Add in the kicking edge, Montana State has been the steadier field goal team, and we're looking at the kind of game where the favorite doesn't need to be perfect. They just need to be themselves for 60 minutes. We're betting that Illinois State's incredible run meets a very uncaring reality, fresh legs, cleaner execution, and a rushing attack that keeps throwing body blows until the bell rings. Now let's slide to the NBA. Denver at Philadelphia, and we're laying Philadelphia -11.5. Normally, double-digit NBA spreads come with that little horror movie feeling like, sure, but what if the fourth quarter happens? Today's setup is different because the matchup isn't just talent, it's roster availability and schedule violence. Denver is in one of those spots where the calendar and the injury report team up like cartoon villains. Second night of a back-to-back deep into a nasty road stretch, and the availability list is brutal. If Denver is missing their primary creation and their interior hub, their offense turns into a series of, well, somebody has to shoot possessions. That's how you get empty trips, live ball turnovers, and long rebounds that turn into Philly layups. And Philly is built to punish exactly this. Tyrese Maxey's speed is a problem even when the opponent is fully staffed. When the opponent is short on point-of-attack defenders, it becomes a track meet, and Denver showed up in dress shoes. Then you layer in the big man factor. Even if Joel Embiid is managed, Philly still has size and rebounding muscle. Against a thinner Denver frontcourt, that shows up as extra possessions. Extra possessions plus a double-digit spread is how covers happen without needing insane shooting luck. The coaching angle matters too. Nick Nurse doesn't treat a 15-point lead like it's a coupon you can redeem for nap time. He tends to keep real lineups on the floor longer than most coaches, which is exactly what we want when we're trying to land -11.5. Fewer all-bench minutes, fewer miracle backdoor threes, more sustained pressure. If Philly plays like a professional team against a compromised opponent, this can be a handle business by the middle of the fourth type of night. All right, last one. Golden State money line plus 100 at the Clippers. We're not asking for permission here. We're taking plus money on the team with the cleaner identity and the better math. This handicap starts with one simple idea. The Clippers are undermanned where you absolutely cannot be undermanned against Golden State, perimeter defense. If the Clippers are down key wing stoppers, guarding the Warriors turns into a constant fire drill. Golden State's offense is built on motion, screening, and forcing 1/2 second of confusion. When you don't have the right defensive athletes available, that half second becomes a wide open 3, and then your whole game plan becomes please miss. And Golden State's floor is higher right now because they're not totally dependent on Steph Curry doing wizard things every second he's on the court. With Jimmy Butler in the mix, the Warriors can survive the non-Curry minutes without their offense falling into a pit. That matters in a road game where runs happen fast. If Curry sits and the Warriors don't immediately implode, the Clippers lose their best path to stealing momentum. The three-point math is the headline. Golden State generates volume from deep like it's their full-time job, and the Clippers have struggled to consistently defend the arc. That's a bad combination if you're the Clippers, because you can play slow, you can play physical, you can try to grind it, but if you're giving up clean threes, the scoreboard still moves in chunks of three. There are risks, because there's always risk when we ride with a jump shooting team. If Golden State goes ice cold, or if the Clippers dominate the glass and turn it into one and done misery, that's the lose condition. But at plus 100, we don't need perfection. We need the more probable outcome. And the more probable outcome is Golden State creating more efficient shots, defending well enough to avoid foul parade nonsense, and winning this game outright. So that's the card. Montana State minus 10.5 to bring the Cinderella story back to reality. Philadelphia minus 11.5 in a game where the availability gap matters more than the logo. And Golden State money line plus 100 because we'll take plus money on the better basketball math every single time.